Now imagine sitting in a room where someone tells you that your body is more capable of healing than you were ever taught to believe. For years, many people have believed that once kidney function drops and dialysis begins, the story is already written. 3 times a week, machines take over the work your body once did effortlessly. Blood is filtered outside the body because the kidneys can no longer do the job. It feels final. It feels permanent. But biology is rarely that simple. Inside your body right now are systems designed for repair. Your kidneys are not just passive filters. They are living networks of microscopic structures called nephrons that communicate with your nervous system, your hormones, and your immune system. These systems respond constantly to signals from your environment, your sleep, your hydration, and the nutrients you consume. When those signals are chaotic, the kidneys suffer. But when those signals are restored to balance, the body can begin surprising processes of recovery and stabilization. One of the most powerful shifts begins with something extremely simple: hydration. Many people living with kidney stress either over-consume fluids randomly or remain chronically dehydrated. The kidneys require a stable rhythm of fluid intake. When water is consumed steadily across the day rather than in large bursts, the filtration pressure inside the kidneys becomes more balanced. That balance allows the remaining nephrons to operate with less stress and greater efficiency. Over time, this can support the preservation of kidney function rather than accelerating its loss. Another crucial factor lies in the foods that control inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the silent forces pushing kidneys toward failure. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, when ultra-processed foods dominate the diet, and when salt intake becomes extreme, the tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys begin to narrow and scar. But when the body receives nutrients that stabilize blood sugar, support vascular health, and calm inflammation, the kidneys receive a very different message. Leafy vegetables, balanced protein, moderate natural salts, and foods rich in potassium and magnesium help restore electrical balance across the cells that control filtration. Sleep is another underestimated element. The brain and kidneys are in constant communication through the autonomic nervous system. During deep sleep, the body shifts into a state of repair where blood pressure lowers, inflammation signals decrease, and hormone rhythms reset. When sleep is fragmented or shortened, kidney stress increases dramatically. But when someone commits to consistent sleep timing, darkness at night, and exposure to natural light early in the morning, the nervous system begins stabilizing in ways that protect kidney function. There is also a powerful connection between stress and kidney health. Chronic stress activates the sympathetic nervous system, the same system responsible for fight or flight. When that system is activated continuously, blood vessels constrict, blood pressure rises, and the kidneys are forced to operate under constant pressure. Learning to regulate stress through breathing practices, light physical activity, and time spent in calm environments shifts the body back toward parasympathetic balance, the state where healing and regeneration occur. Now here's where hope enters the conversation. In many patients, dialysis becomes necessary because kidney function has dropped below a critical threshold. But the progression toward total failure is not identical for everyone. When inflammation is reduced, blood pressure stabilized, hydration balanced, and metabolic health restored, some individuals experience a surprising stabilization of kidney function. In certain cases, the remaining kidney tissue begins working more efficiently. Doctors sometimes observe filtration numbers that stop declining, and in rare but real cases, improve enough that dialysis frequency can be reduced under careful medical supervision. The important message is not that a miracle cure exists in a single pill or a single herb. The real discovery is that the human body responds powerfully to consistent signals. Water at the right rhythm, nourishing food, steady sleep, controlled stress, and movement each day send messages into your biology. Those messages influence blood vessels, hormone signals, immune activity, and cellular repair. Think about that for a moment. Your body is listening to everything you do every day. Every glass of water, every hour of sleep, every meal, every breath tells your biology what direction to move in, toward degeneration or toward recovery. For someone who has lived with dialysis, the machine can feel like the center of life. But the deeper truth is that the machine does not control your biology. Your daily signals do. When those signals shift in the right direction, the body often responds in ways that surprise even experienced clinicians. So the message is not simply about stopping dialysis. The message is about reclaiming the systems that protect kidney health in the first place. When people begin to understand how their nervous system metabolism and daily behaviors influence kidney function, they gain something powerful. They gain agency over their own biology. And once someone realizes that their body is not broken but responsive, everything changes, because the same systems that allowed the kidneys to decline can also be the systems that guide the body back toward balanced strength and resilience. The kidneys are among the most remarkable organs in the human body, yet most people rarely think about them until something goes wrong. Every single day, these two small organs quietly perform one of the most critical tasks required for survival. They filter roughly 180 liters of blood-derived fluid every day, carefully separating what the body needs to keep from what it needs to remove. Inside each kidney are about 1 million tiny filtration units called nephrons. These microscopic structures work continuously, removing toxins, balancing minerals, controlling fluid levels, and regulating blood pressure. In many ways, they act like an intelligent purification system designed by nature itself. When the kidneys function normally, this entire process happens silently and efficiently. Waste products created by metabolism are removed through urine. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and calcium remain in perfect balance. Hormones that control red blood cell production and blood pressure are regulated with incredible precision. The body remains stable because the kidneys are constantly adjusting the chemistry of the blood. Most people never feel this process happening, but without it, life quickly becomes impossible. The challenge begins when kidney function slowly starts to decline. This decline usually does not happen overnight. It often develops quietly over many years. Conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic inflammation, and long-term metabolic stress gradually damage the delicate blood vessels inside the nephrons. As these tiny filters become scarred or blocked, fewer of them remain capable of doing their job. At first, the body compensates. The remaining nephrons work harder, increasing their filtration to make up for the loss. But there comes a point when the kidneys can no longer keep up with the demands placed on them. Waste products begin to accumulate in the bloodstream. Fluid balance becomes unstable. Toxins that should have been removed start affecting other organs, including the heart and brain. When kidney function drops below a critical level, doctors often recommend dialysis. Dialysis is a medical process designed to mimic the filtering role of the kidneys. Blood is removed from the body, cleaned through a specialized machine, and then returned. For many patients, dialysis becomes a life-saving intervention. It prevents dangerous toxin buildup and helps maintain fluid balance. However, it also represents a major shift in daily life. Treatments are frequent, time-consuming, and physically demanding. Many patients feel as though their independence has been taken away. This is why understanding how the kidneys work and why they fail is such an important first step. When people understand the biology behind kidney function, they begin to see that the story of kidney health is not just about machines and hospitals. It is deeply connected to the everyday signals we send to our bodies through our habits, environment, and lifestyle. What surprises many people about kidney disease is how quietly it develops. The body has an extraordinary ability to compensate for damage, which means the warning signs of declining kidney function often remain invisible for years. During this time, subtle changes are taking place deep within the body. The tiny blood vessels that feed the kidneys begin to narrow. The delicate filtration membranes inside the nephrons start to thicken or scar. The kidneys are still working, but they are doing so under increasing stress. One of the most powerful drivers behind this process is high blood pressure. When blood pressure remains elevated for long periods, it places constant force on the small vessels inside the kidneys. These vessels were never designed to handle such pressure continuously. Over time, they begin to weaken, stiffen, and lose their ability to regulate blood flow properly. As this happens, the filtration units become damaged and less effective. It is a slow process, but it steadily reduces the kidney's ability to clean the blood. Another major contributor is chronically elevated blood sugar. When glucose levels remain high, as often occurs in metabolic disorders, sugar molecules begin attaching themselves to proteins and tissues throughout the body. This process can damage the microscopic structures that allow the kidneys to filter waste while keeping essential nutrients in the bloodstream. Gradually, the filters become leaky or clogged, and the kidneys struggle to maintain balance. Inflammation is another silent force working in the background. Modern lifestyles often expose the body to continuous inflammatory triggers. Highly processed foods, poor sleep, long periods of stress, and lack of physical movement all send signals that activate the immune system. When this state continues for months or years, the inflammation can damage blood vessels and tissues throughout the body, including the kidneys. What begins as a protective response slowly becomes destructive. Hydration habits also play an important role. The kidneys rely on consistent fluid balance to maintain healthy filtration pressure. When someone regularly consumes too little water, the kidneys must concentrate waste more intensely, placing additional strain on the filtration system. On the other hand, erratic patterns of excessive fluid intake can also disrupt the delicate balance the kidneys try to maintain. Stress adds another layer to the problem. Chronic activation of the body's stress response increases levels of hormones that raise blood pressure and alter blood flow patterns. When this system remains active for long periods, the kidneys are forced to function in an environment of constant physiological pressure. The important thing to understand is that kidney decline rarely comes from a single cause. It is usually the result of many small factors interacting over time. Each of these influences sends signals to the body every day. When those signals move consistently in the wrong direction, the kidneys slowly lose their ability to perform the complex work they were designed to do. One of the most exciting developments in modern health science is the growing understanding that the body is not a passive system slowly wearing down over time. Instead, it is a responsive and adaptive network that constantly reacts to signals from the environment and from daily behavior. This idea is especially important when discussing kidney health because it reveals that even when damage has begun, the body still has powerful mechanisms designed to protect and stabilize its vital organs. Researchers studying kidney physiology have observed something fascinating. The remaining healthy nephrons inside the kidneys are capable of adapting when conditions in the body improve. When inflammation decreases, blood pressure stabilizes, and metabolic stress is reduced, these surviving filtration units can work more efficiently. They can adjust the way they filter blood and regulate fluids in ways that reduce strain and help maintain balance. This adaptive ability does not mean that lost nephrons magically return, but it does mean the body can sometimes slow or even partially stabilize the progression of decline. One of the most powerful influences on this process is circulation. The kidneys depend on a steady and well-regulated flow of blood in order to perform filtration effectively. When blood vessels are stiff or inflamed, the kidneys struggle to receive the consistent pressure they need. But when circulation improves through better cardiovascular health, something remarkable happens. The delivery of oxygen and nutrients to kidney tissue becomes more efficient, and the filtration system can operate under less stress. Nutrition plays an important role in this shift. Certain nutrients help maintain the delicate electrical balance that kidney cells rely on to transport minerals and fluids. When the body receives adequate potassium, magnesium, and other essential compounds from whole foods, cellular communication improves. These minerals help maintain healthy nerve signals and support the tiny pumps within kidney cells that move substances in and out of the bloodstream. Equally important is the regulation of blood sugar. Stable glucose levels reduce the biochemical stress placed on filtration membranes. When the body avoids large spikes and crashes in blood sugar, fewer damaging compounds form in the bloodstream. This creates a healthier internal environment where kidney tissues are exposed to less irritation and inflammation. Movement and light physical activity also influence kidney health in subtle but powerful ways. Gentle exercise improves circulation, enhances insulin sensitivity, and helps regulate hormones involved in fluid balance. Even moderate daily movement can signal the body to maintain healthier blood pressure and vascular flexibility. What these discoveries reveal is that the body is constantly listening and responding. The kidneys are not isolated organs struggling on their own. They are deeply connected to the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, metabolism, and immune activity. When the signals across these systems begin to shift toward balance, the kidneys often respond by working more efficiently with the healthy tissue that remains. One of the most underestimated influences on kidney health is the rhythm of everyday life. The human body operates on biological cycles that repeat every 24 hours. These cycles regulate hormones, blood pressure, metabolism, and fluid balance. When these rhythms are stable, the kidneys receive consistent signals that help them perform their filtration work smoothly. When the rhythms become disrupted, the kidneys are forced to function in an environment of unpredictability and stress. Sleep plays a central role in this process. During deep sleep, the body enters a state where many repair mechanisms become more active. Blood pressure naturally decreases, inflammation signals calm down, and hormones that regulate fluid balance reset for the next day. This nightly shift allows the cardiovascular system and the kidneys to experience a period of reduced pressure. When sleep is short, irregular, or frequently interrupted, that recovery window becomes smaller. Over time, the body remains in a state of heightened activity where stress hormones stay elevated and blood pressure remains higher than it should be. This constant pressure can slowly strain the tiny filtration vessels inside the kidneys. Exposure to natural light also influences these rhythms. When the eyes receive bright light early in the morning, signals are sent to the brain that synchronize the internal clock. This timing signal helps regulate hormones that control alertness, metabolism, and fluid regulation throughout the day. When these hormonal patterns are aligned, the body manages salt levels, water retention, and blood pressure more effectively. For the kidneys, this means a more predictable workload and a healthier internal environment. Stress regulation is another critical piece of the puzzle. The body has two major branches of the autonomic nervous system. One prepares the body for action and challenge, while the other supports rest and recovery. When life becomes dominated by constant pressure, deadlines, and emotional strain, the action system remains active for long periods. This increases heart rate, tightens blood vessels, and raises blood pressure. The kidneys must then filter blood under stronger force, which can gradually damage the delicate structures responsible for filtration. Practices that calm the nervous system can reverse part of this process. Slow breathing, gentle physical movement, time spent outdoors, and moments of mental quiet all signal the body to shift toward the recovery state. When this shift happens regularly, blood vessels relax and circulation becomes smoother. The kidneys receive blood flow that is steadier and less damaging. Hydration patterns also follow daily rhythms. Drinking moderate amounts of water consistently through the day allows the kidneys to maintain balanced filtration pressure. Large bursts of fluid followed by long periods of dryness create instability that forces the kidneys to adjust constantly. When hydration is steady, the body can regulate fluid balance with far less effort. Together, these daily rhythms form a powerful foundation for kidney stability. The body thrives when signals arrive in predictable patterns. Consistent sleep, natural light, balanced stress, and steady hydration create an internal environment where the kidneys can perform their complex work with greater ease and resilience. There is a powerful idea that often changes the way people think about their health. The body is not simply a machine that breaks down over time. It is a dynamic system that constantly responds to the signals it receives. Every day, through the choices we make, we send instructions to our biology. These instructions influence hormones, blood vessels, immune responses, and cellular repair. When those signals are chaotic or harmful, the body moves slowly toward dysfunction. But when those signals become supportive and consistent, the body often shifts toward balance and protection. This concept becomes especially important for people facing serious kidney challenges. Many individuals believe that once kidney problems reach a certain stage, nothing can influence the outcome anymore. While advanced disease certainly requires careful medical supervision, science continues to show that daily behaviors still play a significant role in shaping the body's internal environment. Even when the kidneys have lost some of their filtering capacity, the remaining tissue can function more effectively when the body is supported properly. Small daily actions can create surprisingly powerful changes over time. Choosing foods that reduce inflammation helps calm the immune system and protect delicate blood vessels. Stable blood sugar levels reduce chemical stress inside the bloodstream. Gentle physical activity improves circulation and helps the body regulate blood pressure more efficiently. Consistent hydration allows the kidneys to perform filtration with less strain. Each of these actions may seem simple on its own, but together they create a new set of signals that guide the body toward stability. Another important shift happens in the mind. When people believe they have no control, motivation fades, and healthy habits become difficult to maintain. But when someone understands that their body is constantly adapting and responding, a sense of ownership begins to return. This psychological shift can influence behavior in powerful ways. People begin paying closer attention to sleep, nutrition, movement, and stress because they understand these elements are not minor details. They are biological instructions shaping how the body functions every day. Doctors who study long-term health patterns often observe that individuals who adopt steady, supportive habits frequently experience slower disease progression. Their blood pressure becomes more stable, their energy levels improve, and laboratory markers sometimes show greater stability over time. These improvements are rarely instant, but they demonstrate how responsive the body can be when given consistent, supportive signals. The deeper message is one of possibility. The human body contains layers of resilience that many people never fully appreciate. Even when facing serious health challenges, the systems that maintain balance are still listening and responding. Each positive choice becomes another signal telling the body to protect, repair, and adapt. Over time, those signals accumulate, guiding the body toward a state that supports strength, stability, and a better quality of life.